Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation live from Studio B. We now join our second guest of the day on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline via Zoom. She is the head coach of BYU women's volleyball, headed back to the NCAA tournament as the number 16 seed, Heather Olmstead. Coach, congratulations on another WCC championship, first and foremost, and on another trip to the NCAA tournament.
Thanks very much. We appreciate it and happy to be here.
Okay, maybe I buried the lead here by not asking this first and foremost, but how much do you miss being interviewed by Jason Shepard in the middle of a match?
It is kind of weird. It's super weird. I sometimes look around, and I got used to it after a while, but definitely miss the in-match interviews. Kind of a little grateful too, but hopefully we bring it back after COVID.
It's coming back. It's coming back, Heather. And I appreciate your honesty as well.
Hey, it's hard. It's hard to do your job and then have to step out and do interviews. I get it for sure. Okay, let's start with the fresh news for BYU volleyball. Again, number 16 seed. What were your emotions when you found out that the Cougars were the number 16 seed and facing either Rider or UCLA in the second round?
Yeah, it was exciting. It was interesting because you see the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 seeds start to pop up, and you're thinking, okay, are we going to get a top 16 seed or are we not? And then when 16 was the last one left and our name popped up, I was happy for the team, happy for the group, for the program, and it was just an exciting moment to be together and get to celebrate that.
You obviously will get the bye, so you get to see the two teams that play each other that you will face the winner of. Rider, UCLA, how do you feel about each matchup? How do you match up against each team?
Yeah, I think as we'll dive into it a little bit more this week, don't know a ton about Rider. We'll have to look into them and what they've done this season. Know a little bit more about UCLA just from watching more of their matches throughout the year. But I like whoever we're playing. We're gonna be ourselves. We're gonna play BYU volleyball, so nothing's gonna change on our end. We are who we are. So we're looking to just get better this week, keep working on honing our crafts in the gym, and play our very best next week against whoever wins that first match.
What's the timetable for your entry into the tournament bubble in Omaha, Nebraska, in that isolated location?
Yeah, it's Monday we'll take off. The teams that play first round will leave Sunday. Teams that play second round will leave Monday. It's they're calling it a controlled environment. It's not a bubble, but we are all in Omaha. So it's, for us, it's no different than the way we've really been going about this whole season. It's a controlled environment as best we can and trying to stay safe and healthy heading into the tournament. So I think it's going to be exciting.
I realize that, you know, everybody's had to deal with this on some level, but with such an unusual season, how rewarding does it feel to be back in this situation, having gone through the last couple of months?
Yeah, extremely rewarding for the players and what they've been through. And looking back to June, I want to send a huge thank you out to our administration, Tom Hummel, Brian Santiago, President, Vice President, President Worthen, that got our athletes back on campus. They made a push to get us back in June, July, not knowing if we were going to play in the fall. We were obviously preparing to play in the fall, and they made a huge push. And so to see us, get our season pushed back and postponed and work through the fall, it's extremely rewarding because I know what these players have gone through and the ups and downs that we've experienced, the trials and tribulations. And so I'm happy for our players. They stayed the course. They stuck with the plan. And they were resilient and they played well. We keep getting better. And it's really exciting to see because I think our chemistry is good. Our players enjoy being around each other, and you need to. It's important, right? With this controlled environment where you're pretty isolated on road trips and even when you're home, asking them to be as safe as they can. So it's very rewarding after a really tough year.
BYU women's volleyball head coach Heather Olmstead with us on BYU Sports Nation. You may have already just answered this because of the unique circumstances you went through, but how else does this conference championship measure up to the other ones that you've won? Everyone is great, but how does this one measure up to the others?
Yeah, this one's special, not only because, we didn't win the conference in 19, so our goal was to get back to that spot of winning the conference. That makes it special. But then to do it when you didn't get voted preseason favorite, no one's really talking about you. I think all those things play into it. Being a little bit of the underdog, not really knowing what was going to happen with COVID and people stepping into different roles and positions, and that happening on our team in season where we had, people playing in certain spots and having to move around because of certain things. So definitely special for this group. I know it's a moment last week we'll never forget, and they'll always have that tied to their name to be West Coast Conference champs during this 2020-21 season.
What does it mean for the program that as of right now, everybody's planning on being back next year? And can that have an effect on this postseason run as well?
Yeah, nobody's really focused on that. That's exciting for the future. I think we're just staying in the present. We're focused on what we got going on right now with this group and the mojos that we have going. So we're focused on this team and what we can do. And really today on practice, how we can get better, and tomorrow and the next day, just living in the present as much as we can just to get better, heading into that match for us next week. And next year will be next year, and we'll figure that out when it comes. It's exciting to think about the future, the recruits that we have, the people that we're adding to our program. The future is definitely, bright, but trying to stay in the present as much as we can.
Kennedy Eschenberg was just named the West Coast Conference Defensive Player of the Week for a third consecutive week. And I know you like to focus on team aspects, but it's hard not to focus on the individual when she's receiving this honor again. What kind of presence does she bring to the middle of the floor for you?
Yeah, she's Kennedy. I'm so happy for her, third week in a row. I just keep telling her that she's in beast mode, and she's just turned it up a notch. And what she's gone through this season and the adversity she's had with an injury, she just keeps getting better and better, and she's wanting to learn and wanting to get feedback from her coaches and her teammates. And so, yeah, she's in beast mode heading into the tournament. We're happy for her and for the team, and everyone, contributes to these weekly awards. And but she's pretty special. She's leading this group, so it's exciting for her and for our program.
Coach, regardless of the sport, everybody talks about going into the postseason. It's a different game. It's the same game, but it's different because it's the postseason. In terms of volleyball, where do you see that from regular season volleyball to postseason? Where do things change the most in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, it's a one and done tournament. So if you win, you move on. If you lose, you're out. And I think that's the biggest change, is that there's a finality to it, and only one team ends up winning at the end. So we want to see how far this group can go, and we want to win as many matches as we can in the NCAA tournament. So that's the biggest thing. The pressure's different. We've got kids on this team, freshmen, that haven't ever played in the NCAA tournament match and haven't experienced it. Not only that, now this experience is different as opposed to maybe hosting a couple or going to a school. You're playing in one location and on neutral court, which I think is exciting. It's different. It's something that everyone's going to have to adapt to, not just the freshmen. But it's exciting. It's fun. We're looking forward to going to Omaha and seeing how the NCAA puts on a good show.
Coach, you just touched on the dynamic of this team with, a few experienced veterans, Kennedy Eschenberg, Taylor Ballard-Nixon, among others. And then you've got some really rising, budding young stars like Maddie Allen. I mean, Whitney Bauer, I guess you could consider still a young player because she's only a sophomore. But where do you feel like the young players have improved the most over the course of this season?
Yeah, volleyball wise, I think we've definitely improved in our serve and pass game, which has really helped us offensively. I think we've developed into a team that has multiple weapons, where we have people that can score in different spots, and that helps us. When maybe someone's struggling on one day, we can go to another person, but when we're all on, we're pretty dangerous, I think. And then not only that, but I'd say off the court, just maturity. We've asked them to kind of mature a little bit. And obviously this year with the pandemic and COVID has helped us accelerate the maturation process. But their ability to handle and process information and be a little bit more mature, I've seen that over the year. Not on the court, just the serve and pass offense continuing to get better every day.
How much fun is this right now? I mean, this is what you guys play for to go. And I know that this program does this every year, but how much fun is this to be at this point of the season and know what is possible for this team?
Yeah, it's different this year because of things getting taken away and not knowing the future, not knowing if you're going to play. I think people could see that when we won the conference last week and were able to enjoy each other and cut down the nets and be at home and celebrate winning a championship. It just feels sweeter because of the adversity that everybody's been through and the unknown and the uncertainty. And that's really what's uncomfortable, is not knowing what's going to happen. And I think our team has handled it really, really well. And so it is a ton of fun. And that's what our goal is, just to have fun this week and get better. Looking forward to Omaha. We have some fun things planned. Even if we have to be in our rooms, we've learned from women's and men's basketball that have just been in the tournament, the things that we can do to create fun connections with each other. So we're looking forward to implementing those in Omaha next week and having as much fun as we can, even though we'll be a little bit separated in some separate rooms, but we're gonna make it a big old party in Omaha.
Well, hey, look, and Coach, I've got some good news for you. Speaking of fun in Omaha, because we all expect this team to continue to advance, I'm going to be in Omaha next week with BYU baseball. So if you just happen to want to do an interview, I'm going to be in town. So
we got some tickets for you. Come on, we got some tickets for you.
All right.
Yes,
okay.
Shep, let's do this. Hey, Coach, we appreciate the time. Congratulations again on a fantastic season. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't kind of hope for you to play UCLA so that you can bring some vengeance for what happened against men's basketball. So if you're cool with that, let's do it.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate your support. We're excited.
You got it. Heather Olmstead on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, you know why we show how.
Oh, wait a minute. You want a team that beat BYU to lose because they beat BYU? That is ludicrous. It is crazy.
It's different.
It is not different.
It is different.
It's not.
Come on.